we've just finished another amazing NLP practitioner course, and Carolyn was one of the attendees on the course, and so I'm just going to ask her a few questions about how she found it. So Carolyn, can you just tell me what it was that made you decide to come on the course?
Okay, I work in local government, and as you know, local government funding is stretched, and I just felt that we weren't getting what we needed, really, the tools to be able to deal with the depletion of resources, the ever-increasing expectations on staff. And I felt that I personally needed some tools to be able to help me to deal with the negative aspect of the funding being stretched, really.
So can you tell me a little bit about specifically what you do? Because I think some of the skills that you've learnt on the course might be helpful within that as well.
Yeah, I work with young offenders, and I also work with the victims of young offenders. So obviously part of my role is to make sure the victim feels better after what's happened to them and is able to move on. So obviously my role needs to be a very positive role, and sometimes that can be a bit difficult. On the flip side of that, then I work with young people who are often in really difficult situations themselves, obviously have offended or but aren't always there through. There are usually outside external events that have happened to these young people to get them in that position. And a lot of work needs to be done with those young people so that they can get into a good frame of mind, so they can understand where they're going wrong and where their lives are taking them.
Yeah, so they have choices for the future, I guess.
Absolutely.
So they can change their life, yeah. So are there any specific skills that you've learnt on the course that will help you in talking to these people?
I think the positivity that we learnt on the course and the positivity with my fellow trainees and yourself and Peter's trainers has been really, really helpful. We did a lot of work on anchoring, and I think that's important for myself because it's really easy to get dragged into a negative frame of mind when you're dealing with negativity all the time. We touched on the timeline, which I found really powerful, really positive, and I think that helped me to get rid of an awful lot of things in my past and enabled me to move on, really.
Fabulous. It's amazing timeline, isn't it? It's just...
Yeah, it's pretty
It's all
powerful.
life-changing, but I think particularly that. We also did some hypnosis. How did you...
We did some hypnosis, yeah, and I found that really interesting. Pete was really good at that, leading us through the hypnosis, yeah, it's something that's very interesting, something I haven't really considered before. I have been hypnotised before, but I've never considered doing it myself. So, yeah, that's something to think about taking forward.
Cool, good. As you're a mum as well, and you have a family, has it given you any skills in order to be able to help deal with things that go on in families?
Yeah, I think so. It's probably helped me to deal with the adult male in my life, who is my sort of biggest child, who I'm married to. Who's quite a negative person. So I think there's quite a lot of things that I'm taking away from this that will help me to deal with his negativity. My children are wonderful. It's my husband who's the issue.
Okay. And what's next after this? So what are the plans?
I think, first of all, primarily, as I said, my reason for coming here was to give me tools to be able to deal with things. So on Monday, I'll be going back to work. I'll be making sure that I take all my learning and put all my learning into effect in work. And then I'll be looking at helping other people who need the skills and the learning that I've learned from here, and take it on from there, really.
Great, good. So what would you say to anyone else that was thinking of coming on the course?
I think they've got to take the bull by the horns and do it. There's no point in sitting and reliving the same life over and over and over again. If you want something to change, you've got to do it.
Fabulous. Thank you very much.